Welcome to another video, another big box delivered, not as big as some. This is from Green Logistics Polska. Don't actually know what is in here, so let's crack it open and have a look what's inside. Cut the box, let's have a look. So, what is this? It's got a mysterious black package. It says replacement rulebook. We've got some doors, I say, some type of doors, and some cards. Magnetic saw gun. Okay, all right. I'm still not sure what I'm looking at. Let's see. Oh, Deep Madness. Right. Okay. It's a bubble wrap. That's filler. Get rid of the boxes. Lots of bubble wrap on here. I don't know how good bubble wrap would be in this situation if the box itself is damaged with an impact, but a quick glance at the contents seems to look like, well, okay, if we see here, I don't know if you can see that, but the cardboard box is quite badly hit there, so that would be the bottom of this box. Right, well, what we'll have to do, can't feel anything. When we take that out, we'll have to have a look to see if that got damaged with that impact. Sometimes it's useful to have a look at the inside of the main box that's come through the post. So we can see over here we've got some creases, but there's no holes, there's just some creases. In fact, the box looks in very good condition, other than it's obviously taken a bit of a hit down there. So if we turn it over, you can see it's had a hit there. So that's what we'll be looking for when we get into these boxes to have a look at what's inside. So, Deep Madness, shift the angle a bit on here. There we go, Deep Madness. First thing I can say is the quality of the shrink wrap, cellophane wrap, looks quite good. It looks like it's created a proper seal around the box. Yeah, I don't see any gaps, so if there was any chance of water damage, that would do a good job of protecting it. Can't really tell how thick it is until I get in there. Yeah, that's nice. It's not really thick, but it's more than thick enough to do the job it's supposed to do. So that's a good sign. No signs of any damage in the boxes so far. Right, let's take a look. A sci-fi horror game for 1 to 6 players. We've got a rule book. It's quite a hefty book. We've got my least favourite, not the blackest of text, on a reasonably dark brown paper, so that's not going to be the most pleasant to read, especially not when you consider how much reading you're going to need to do. I must say, it looks, so just to be fair, it looks like half of this is actually maybe story. Yeah, it says storybook. So it looks like maybe slightly more than half of this is actually more story, flavour text, etc. We got some pictures, got some diagrams, cards and that on here look a little dark, but again, when you print on a dark paper and that, everything tends to look darker. Let's see if we've got a component guide. Yep, we have. So we've got components, Madness cards. We'll just look at some of the items. Room cards, sorry. We've got the miniatures, 60 monsters. It tells you how many of each. Heroes, setup, Okay, we'll see. I'm delighted that it's got a component guide at the beginning. It doesn't have a table of contents, which is interesting. You don't often come across that. So no table of contents. Back page, no, nothing there. Game board, no index. Right, that's going to make that quite challenging. I wonder, maybe now is a good time to have a look at what is in this black package where it says replacement rule book. Maybe they've added a table of contents or an index or both. Let's take a look. So there is replacement rule book, exactly the same image. Still just says winning on the back. Well, there's no index, you know, at least near the back. Let's have a look at the beginning. Welcome to that. We got the intro game overview, components, setup. Yeah, no table of contents, no index. That is pretty bad. I would argue that table of contents as a minimum to help you try and find things later on. I'm going to put the old rule book in this rack bag and then put that out of the way. Let's have a look at the rest of the components. First thoughts here, we've got the finger indents, which you know I'm a big fan of, so that you can actually get in to get the trays out without damaging the box. So there's our first tray. Is it sellotape? No, it's not sellotape. Oh, that's good. They've used small indents in the side of the box to stop the lid from coming off too easily. The miniatures fit. Oh, brilliant. You don't have to force the miniatures in, they're not clipped in. They have just made these so that they are the right shape to fit the miniature. Let's have a look at a couple of miniatures in more detail. Here's one of the heroes. The lighting where I'm sitting isn't brilliant. I would say the level of detail is fine. Fine, not outstanding, but absolutely fine. Got textured creases on the trousers. I think that's in the better half, maybe just slightly better than average. But yeah, I think those look fine. Let's try and find. Here we go. The next hero, he's got a bit more detail on him. We've got the bag. I'm impressed that they've managed to mould this bag with such a thin handles, but that's worked well. The bases are a bit disappointing, just a flat base. They put something under his foot, but basically just a flat base. Although if I remember this game, it's set inside a kind of a ship of some type, a vessel, so maybe a flat base isn't the end of the world, because you can paint it just to look like a grey metallic floor, something like that. But yeah, those look fine. Let's have a look at some of the critters. Again, not bad, not bad at all. A couple of little bits I might just file or smooth off a little bit. This is going to be hard on your brush. You're going to want to use an old brush for base coating. Very rough texture. But yeah, that seems fine to me. Again, just making sure these are not forced in. That's great. So let's try and get one of these little guys out. I must say, it's quite hard for me to get these out with my thick fingers. So there's a little creature of some kind. Yeah, level of detail seems fine to me for a board game. That's absolutely fine. Now you can see where they've stuck this tentacle in. That will probably need filling just a little bit. Tiny bit of liquid green stuff or milliput or whatever you like to use. Yeah, same on this side. Fairly big gap there. Yeah, same on this miniature. So that's obviously, you know, they've stuck them in there. They're not terrible, but it will just look a bit better with a little bit of love and attention. Must say, it's quite a rigid plastic. That's why I think they've been able to get this level of the thinness here. And these tongs out be quite easy to break, so be careful with that. But yes, all in all, yeah, be really careful with these. Look how thin these legs are. These are really thin. So when you're actually playing the game, you're going to need to be careful not to just grab a handful at once, sort of thing. You need to watch if you're playing with one of your children that they don't get a little bit heavy-handed, because these are quite fine miniatures, quite thin. So it would be very easy to break those at the legs. But yeah, great, good storage, really well packed, really thought out. Quite happy with that. Yeah, quite happy. Happier than I am with many of the other games I've received. Let's look at what's next. Next we have the shrink wrapped tokens. Let me just, here we go, get into there. Exactly the same type of shrink wrap used, so still very happy with that. And then we have the card. Fairly thick. Gives a little bit when you squeeze it, not a lot. And let's try pushing out one of these small tokens. Okay, now that's pushed out, but can you hear the noise? Let's do another. You can hear the paper catching slightly as you push them out. I mean, they're pushing out fine. Let's have a look at a couple of the ones we've pushed out. You can see they have got little tiny tabs here and here, just the two on that round one. Let's have a look at one of these. This is an interesting shape. Lots of little bits on here. Yeah, a couple of little tabs. Not terrible at all. Came out quite easily. Let's have a see how the gluing is. Oh, that's holding reasonably well. Yeah, I thought, I don't know why, it felt like it would peel off much easier, but I have to say that's holding up fairly well. So it's obviously been glued quite well. And these tokens, yeah, they push out quite easily. So I'd say, yeah, again, above average. Definitely above average on the tokens. Not the best I've got, not the best that I've received, but certainly in the top half. And, well, there you go. I literally just pushed this along like this, and just in doing that, I've caught this token here, and you can see, just lift that up, you can see how that has already flaked off that paper. So that one's already damaged. Nothing I can do to fix that. In fact, you can see these ones are already damaged, and I've not even done anything with those. So I suspect that's because they're just too pointy. The paper is just not glued firmly enough to have a token that pointy and not damage it if anything rubs over it. So let me just downgrade the quality of the token to average. Let's give it average. I think part of the issue here is just the shape of the token. They've just made these tiny little points. If you're going to do that in plastic, sorry, not in plastic. If you're going to do it in plastic, that will work. If you're going to do it in cardboard, that's really, really difficult to prevent those little tiny points from getting damaged. Let's see what else we've got. We've got the game tiles. Okay, there's game tiles. Quite dark theme. Yeah. Personally, I'd like it's a little bit lighter so you can actually see some of the details a bit more. I know the game is set, you know, it's that kind of setting, but I just think it's nice to be able to see the artwork that's been done a bit more clearly, so it's really quite dark. But I'm sure that will work well in the theme of the game. And then we have more, let's see, we have another storage tray and more miniatures. Again, the miniatures we're talking about here are, let's say, the big baddies, the boss miniatures. Take one of those out. Yeah, not a lot of flashing or anything to deal with, quite neat. I think, yeah, just where they've glued the parts together Just needs a little bit of filling there just to fill those gaps. But no, good. And again, storage absolutely excellent. They've really just made sure that these all fit really nicely. Oh, I like that one. Oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought that was the front, but it actually looks like that's the front. Maybe they're both the front. That's quite interesting. This one, that's definitely the front. But you can see again where this has been glued on. That needs some filling, or it's going to be very visible. But yeah, nice. I'm very happy with how they have done the storage for these. I think it's great. I'm going to switch it though, so that this is at the top of the box, because then it's got this to help you lift it out without damaging the box. And then we've got dice. We've got standy bases, which is interesting because I thought everything we've got was miniatures, but never mind. Probably for the doors, maybe, I don't know. Then we've got more room tiles, again shrink wrapped from the risk of any damp. And again, you know, same theme. You've got the sort of red side and the, let's say, the greeny bluey side. They look very similar. When you do things this dark, they do tend to look very similar. So there's some which are different, slightly sticking together, but no damage. But yeah, and it's great that they've got dedicated storage for these, so those all fit really nicely in there. We've got some cards. I'm not going to go through the cards now. That's something I'll do at my leisure. Make sure I count them all up. More cards. I'm not sure if there'll be anywhere to store these in the box, but maybe over in this bit here where these stands are. We will see. We will see. But yeah, very happy with that. They've clearly given it quite a lot of thought. That all fits together really nicely. Get that one in next, and then I think these need to go in. I think these are designed to fit in this space here. Yes, they are. So you need to put those in. Then this, obviously we'll sort all the tokens out later. I didn't see an obvious place to store the tokens, although I suspect underneath some of those cards there is some space. Get the rule book in. And then there was just this little pack. Just some extra cards, magnetic saw gun. It just looks like there's a few extra weapons or whatever cards, so I'll put those in there, keep those safe as well. And we'll move on to the next box. So here we are with the next box. This is the Endless Nightmares expansion. I think this might have been the box that was directly above the damage on the bottom of the main box. So I'm just having a look now. Can't see anything. Can't feel anything, which is a really good sign. Your fingers are incredibly sensitive to any kind of dents or scratches. So looks like it's okay. We've got the expansion booklet. Good components list. Should make it clear everything that's in the expansion. Additional rules, credits, some extra mission setup. Still no quick rule summary guide or anything like that. Then we have a look. We've got the tokens. Now, is the expansion any different to the main? No, those pressed out quite easily. Yeah, no, still can't really fault these. These must be for the standees. Although, as I say, we seem to have a lot of miniatures, so I'm not sure why. You know, maybe we don't need those. I don't know. We will find out. Okay. Now, having done a great job on the core box of giving you an easy way to get this out without having to force the edges of your box out, they haven't done it on this box. So the only way to get this out is to push your finger down, sort of push the side of the box out. That's the only way you're going to get in here, which is a shame. Oh, this one is taped as well. I was Trying to get the lid off, couldn't work out why. Okay. To me, the quality of these miniatures, it seems slightly higher than what I saw in the core box. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I feel like the detail, the smoothness of the textures that you'd expect to be smooth, I feel these look better. Great level of detail with the fingers, the weapon. Yes, to me these look better than the core box. Don't know exactly what we're dealing with there, but okay. So yeah, I'm very pleased with those. Again, there's a large amount of miniatures in here. They've done a tremendous job. I like this guy. Look at that huge mouth. They've done a really good job of working out the storage so that everything fits in, and they haven't. Well, those guys look like they literally just sort of drop them in there. But yeah, it looks like they've really thought about the storage, and it works really well. Okay, as I say, the only thing they've done, which I think is not ideal, is they haven't given you. They've even, look at that. They've even left in the black. They have left the indents that you would expect, but they've not put them in the lid. Deliberate mistake, or just mistake? I'll let you guys decide. See, here we go. This is going to damage your box, getting in like this just to try and get these things out. Box looks undamaged, which is great. Yeah, there's no way to get this lid off easily. It would help if I took the tape off, of course. There we go. But it is gonna damage your box each time if you have to kind of force your fingers in to get it out. Now we've got some of these doors. Don't know if they're supposed to open or not. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So we've got some of those doors. Of course, we've got that whole other set that we got sent. We've got some bigger monsters in here. Yeah, there's absolutely no question. These miniatures in this expansion, the detail is clearer, easier to see. Everything's not so rough, so you actually get a really clear idea of the detail. I prefer these a lot. I think these are definitely above average quality. I can see where some bits have been stuck on, like round here, this mouth tentacle part has been stuck in, but you could probably get away without having to fill that. It's been done in such a way that it's less visible, less noticeable, and the gap is smaller. So yeah, I'm much more impressed. I don't know if they changed supplier, just changed the idea, or I don't know, but these are definitely nicer miniatures in my opinion, for what that's worth. Right, let's put these back in, get on to the last box. Really upsetting that they haven't thought about the storage in this one to quite the same level that they have. Oh, that's not good now, that's messed up. So these have got knocked like that, like that, like that. There we go. Okay. Maybe just a little bit too snug. Better quality miniatures, almost well thought out storage, just not quite there by missing those indents to let you lift it in and out. Other than that though, good box, good expansion. Quality on the box, just if you can see here, that's not great. I suspect that's going to catch quite easily. We've got a couple of little similar sort of marks up here. So might be that this box doesn't hold up very well over time. Let's get on to the last box. The last box is Uncounted Horrors expansion. Cellophane on this one's actually already got some little holes in it there, which is interesting. I don't know if you can see here, 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 here. A few little holes. Let's just get in there. Okay, we are in. Box very similar to the others. No obvious signs of damage. When we get into this box, we've got the expansion leaflet, component list again, which is great. Bit more story. Still no real missed opportunity to have a sort of a rule summary or something, turn guide or whatever on the back. They've thought about storage again, which is great. Got just a few extra tokens and another sort of room tile. Oh dear, again, how are you supposed to get in here without forcing the box? Well, the answer is you're not. So, disappointing. Just take a quick look at this. Can't see any damage, can't feel any damage. So let's have a look at these miniatures and see whether they are like the other expansion, which in my opinion is better than the core box, or similar to the core box, or let's see exactly how these measure up. Okay, here we go. Get this off. We've got cards in the lid. Okay, I think when these are taken out the shrink wrap, they'll actually fit really nicely there. They're slightly squeezed in with the shrink wrap on. Don't think they'll fit with sleeving, so if you want to sleeve your cards, I think you're out of luck. What have we got here? We've got some kind of scenery, objective marker, something. Let's have a look at a couple of these hero miniatures, the players. Yeah, I think this is like the other expansion. In my opinion, these look cleaner, crisper, nicer. Really good levels of detail. These are much better quality miniatures. Again, the gluing here, biggish gaps, definitely quite a lot of filling to be done across. You know, if you take all the miniatures and deal with them all at once, you'll probably have a good half day or so of just filling gaps. But all in all, I think these are good miniatures. I love this. I kind of got sort of bits of body or whatever coming out of this mess. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, another look at a couple of these. Yep, there we go. Lots of tentacles, claws, mouths. Then we've got, oh, what have we got here? I don't actually know what we've got here. We've got sort of rings. I don't know what you do with those. And then in here, we've got a collection of plastic items. Small brown tentacle things. That looks like some kind of egg that's broken open, a pod egg, something like that. Maybe a cat. It's a big cat. It's a small big cat, if that makes sense. So maybe something like a jaguar, panther. But yeah, lots of these sort of tentacle things. Whatever that is, can't really make out what that is. Is that another of those cat things? Yeah, another of these cat things. Different colour though. Pale brown versus grey. So they must obviously serve a purpose in the game. but no idea what at this point. So just pop those back in, and I think that is everything that we need to look at. I will record a bit more later after I've looked at the cards if I find any problems, but other than that, that's Deep Madness. Until next time, take care.